You have asked me to show you some more alternatives to the Tesla Model Y, and the one from Toyota is the Toyota bZ4X here in an updated version. What have they changed? Everything you need to know right now with Thomas Nautigefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. Here slight design changes just in the front, here in a gray color, and they've also updated the aerodynamics for a little bit more efficiency, that then also will give you some more range. They also said they have updated the acoustics, so the NVH, so noise, vibration, harshness. So it's supposed to be more silent on the interior. Well, sorry about that. Here is all the way in the high gloss black then now. So tell me if you like it or not, or if it's too large for you. Wheels are from 18 to 20 inch wheels. These are the bigger 20-inch wheel indeed. And the length is 4.69 meters or 185 inches. And that is indeed now the larger Toyota EV. There are now two smaller EVs. The one you see back there, the Toyota CHR Plus, the new EV version of the CHR. And there's also the Toyota Urban Cruiser that is even smaller. Here now upgraded batteries. So you either get 73 kilowatt hours or 58 kilowatt hours. These are all gross figures. So there is some kind of buffer behind that. However, the usable battery size in comparison to the outgoing battery is now 5 kilowatt hours more, the usable size in comparison to the older one. And that again supposed to give you a little bit more range. Top speed is once again, probably, I didn't hear anything other, 160 kilometers an hour or 100 miles per hour. The acceleration figures have changed a little bit, so there's a front-wheel drive version as an entry with a small battery. Then with the bigger battery, there's also a front-wheel drive version. And now a newer all-wheel drive version with an upgraded horsepower figure. So there was an all-wheel drive before, but now it's 343 horsepower, more power and 5.2 seconds in the acceleration figure just for a better boost for you. What do you think about that? And then here the light strip goes all the way through in the rear. It's a very modern design still. Let's take a look at the boot, which is at 450 liters, has an electric hatch. There we go. And there we can see underneath some more space for the cable then in this case. This cover here goes like that. There we go. And we could also fold the seats directly from here, so you can easily do that because you have enough space here. And that is also like an advantage if you compare the smaller Toyota EVs, that you just have more luggage capacity than in this case. This one, by the way, also has the optional JBL sound system. Then we can close it once again and we can take a look at the interior. So they did some updates also with the cockpit, you can see here. So because before we had a 12.3-inch screen right here, and this is now bigger. So here is now at 14-inch, and you can obviously see that it's really large now, but it still fits in the vehicle. It's actually integrated right here a little bit, stands out, and you can see these are, doesn't show at this moment here, maybe with the ignition, let me check it out. So here there will be like the temperature inside when the car is running, and then you can actually change it. And this is like a interesting integration we know already from Lexus, because you have this digital background. At the same time, you have a haptic interface on the screen. The Ford Mustang Mach-E is also using the system, by the way. That's very interesting. So yeah, it doesn't show here at this moment because the car is in a showroom mode. But as I said, there will be the temperature inside, and you can go warmer or colder, and also for the passenger side, for example. About the seats here, this is here a high-grade leatherette. You can see it's very soft and plush, so very comfortable. It feels like good material quality. And actually my father-in-law jumped to this vehicle now from a Yaris Cross, so he is driving a bZ4X so far, and he is actually very happy with the seats. So it's good also to give to have some personal feedback actually. So here getting a seating position. Steering wheel also is very interesting shape because you still have real buttons. However, it's more like it's a little bit larger than usual because that whole thing is kind of integrated in that column. And then we do not have a head-up display. However, the instruments are placed kind of high right there. So it is rather in your line of sight. And then Toyota says, hey, we do not need a head-up display because we can put the instruments relatively high. And this one here then with the panoramic roof leaves me some headroom. So here with 189, 6'2", I do have some headroom left. And we can see here, you cannot really open this one, but you can, it's not powered here at the moment. That's always sometimes the problem here on these like showroom mode cars. But you can see you cannot open it as for fresh air. but this is a slider, a real shade you can actually close against the sun when there's like a lot of sun, you know. So I'm really happy with the seats overall, and there's a large middle console that might be a little bit close here for the leg, but it's okay because you don't have anything here with the steering wheel. And in that middle console you have two inductive charging pads here, left and right. They are not ventilated though, so that might be a little bit overheating then in summer times. We have that problem with some vehicles. By the way, another haptic interface is here with the turning jog for the volume, that is working. And other than that, here the GPS. This integrated GPS is really important with electric vehicles because there's another update here now, very important also maybe for existing bZ4X customers. Not sure if it can be retrofitted because it's maybe bound to the 14-inch screen. Here now, first of all, a preheating is possible of the battery, and also this route recalculation, which all EVs need, that it automatically, like when you search for a charging stop, or when you just put in the route, automatically calculates like which charging station you should go for and to which time, which is a good thing in general to mention, because now it has been upgraded that you can also get a 22 kilowatt AC charger. Before only 11 kilowatt was possible actually. DC charging at 150 kilowatts still. They also upgraded something there, but you will still have 10 to 80% in 30 minutes approximately, which is same like the Tesla Model Y, but also not especially great or something like that. So it's like a mediocre, I would say like that. Here, the cup holders are adaptive. That's good quality, so they're also being held tight. This is here the car key fob for you, standard I would say. And to put in the gears here, you press it down and then right for D, left for reverse. Actually pretty simple and straightforward. And here you can also pick some of the driving modes here on the right side, for example. There we go. Or then split opening to the left. So that way actually passenger and driver can actually access it at the same time. So for me, definitely a good update to have just a little bit larger screen than when you have like the Apple CarPlay and with auto connection, you can easily press things. Interesting definitely also that you have the instruments in your line of sight, and you always have a nice grip at the steering wheel. It is actually, although this whole column seems really large, the steering wheel itself is actually rather slim and feels somewhat sporty, I have to say. And yeah, I have to say with the real buttons in the steering wheel, I'm also happy that we still have this interface. I think that's a very interesting mix that we have this real climate unit. At the same time, it is being used on the screen because it is not a separate button with a separate mechanism. It's really like you use your own finger on the screen, but it's basically emulated by this round button. This is a very interesting thought, definitely. Let's hop to the rear to check it out, how much space we have there. Because what also my father-in-law said, like when he jumped from the Yaris Cross here to this EV, he said you would just want to have more space. And that is what you really have in this vehicle. So here, when I'm driving as a tall person, I still have a lot of legroom left here, so that's nice. We of course have the problem that with all electric vehicles that the floor is relatively high because of this sandwich concept. Since this is an SUV, this effect is not as bad as it would be in a sedan or something like that. So here it's relatively okay. And also, once again, you have the high-grade leatherette on the seating. It also has this perforation right here, really soft. And that's also giving you seating comfort. As for the headroom, still it's okay here again with 189, 6'2". I do have some headroom left here, that's fine. So it is a comfortable seating position here in the rear. And by the way, even in the rear, this top part is at least like somewhat dampened. Put down this here. The cup holders here are not adaptive though. This is like another slot, maybe like for an iPad or for a phone or something like that. But overall, good comfort here. Isofix is on the outside seats each. And of course, you can once again fold them from here. As I shown you, it was like 1/3, 2/3 split. And let's see if we can vary the angle. Yes, we can. So this is like the most backward position. Let's see. Could also put it like this. Yeah, like this. Or so two positions here. So either for the best comfort, let's also put it here. Yeah, like this. So this is more like a laid back, relaxed comfort position then. Or if you just want more trunk length, for example. Not to forget here, you have two USB-C chargers with your like an own small table here, two USB-C chargers and also seat heating right there. And let's check out if it has a frunk or not. No, does not have. I mean, they used all the space, but of course, with the EVs, we once did a survey, and 2/3 of the EV customers or interest in EVs want to have a frunk. Some don't care. Yeah. It's always good to have one, definitely. And here, a secondary vehicle for you, a lower trim. This is also with 18-inch wheels, so the smaller wheels, and I think it works quite well. Doesn't look, lost or something like that. It's also, of course, better for the range because the tires are a little bit smaller than. But I think visually it still works well. Yes, the 20-inch maybe looks better, but these ones are better for range and also for driving comfort. And this is also here my assumption that even in a lower trim it will be high gloss black, because since this is a lower trim vehicle, also for example with the fabric seats on the inside, soon going to show to you, this is still in the new high gloss black paint. So yeah, I think we can assume that this will be a standard for all of the versions of the bZ4X now. And also interesting to know that they reworked the suspension. So let's see when we can soon drive this car again, if it's more comfortable or better in the driving in general. They promise that it's that you can better turn in the corners and so on. At the same time, a little bit more comfort. We'll soon check out if that's really true. This would be an alternative here. This is the base seat with fabric on the inside. It's like a gray fabric. It also feels really nice. I can also take a test seat for you here. And then you have the leatherette on the outside. And testing the base fabric seat here is actually really comfortable. So, I mean, the thing is that the fabric will stay a little bit cooler passively in summertime, for example, and also not that cold in wintertime. So I think it's also nice. For the leatherette, of course, if you more have a focus on, hey, like, let's swipe it clean, easier, and so on. But I think visually, I think it's also really nice. It's just a question of what you prefer, but both are actually comfortable. And here we shortly take the time for you to measure the trunk, actually. So first of all, here that you can have an imagination, here the cabin trolley also fits vertically underneath this cover, and then the normal length here is about 1 meter or 40 inches like this, and here the width back there is also about 1 meter or 40 inches here, a little bit more narrow here, but way wider than towards the wheel arches. And then here the height is also reasonable, like 77 centimeters. That's about 30 inches. And of course, when we fold the seats completely, let's see here, so this like this 1/3 then, set 1/3, 2/3, and to the seats in the front there, and there we go. And you see here is almost a full ruler here with, yeah, I would say like 1.90 meters, something like that. And yeah, it will be about like 75 inches, something like that. Another interesting thing to mention is that the towing capacity here for the all-wheel drive version has been doubled from 750 kilograms to 1.5 tons. So if you might be interested in that. The concise range here with a large battery will be somewhat, like in good conditions, 400 kilometers or 250 miles. Might be worse than in winter times. However, you can also have a heat pump with this vehicle. And the prices will be somewhat, again, between 50 and 60,000 euros, depending front-wheel drive, small battery, big ready. It might start even a little bit below that now. I don't have the new current prices yet, but we can soon give you an update then with that. And if you're interested in the other Toyota EVs, there is the Toyota Urban Cruiser, which is the smallest one, or between these two, actually, there's now the CHR Plus.